Caltech professor murdered, and he was kind of working on some interesting stuff. Carl Grillmair was a Caltech astrophysicist at the Infrared Processing and Analysis Center, specializing in galactic astronomy, dark matter, stellar streams, galactic structure, and exoplanets. He led projects on Hubble and Spitzer telescopes, discovered multiple stellar streams in the Milky Way, and earned a NASA Exceptional Scientific Achievement Medal. Now, some people were saying, getting super wild with it, that he was the leaker of the 3i Atlas stuff. Let me actually see if I can find something on that, because people were saying that in the rumors in the back channels was that Hubble was going to detected alien life or something like that. Let me see. Do I have anything about that on my feed? Let's see. If not, I just remember, I think Pavel and I think even Ross Coulthart were saying that they had heard that Hubble had detected something. Let me see if I could find this. Sorry guys, a little boring. Oh no, it's James Webb. I'm dumb. Here we go.
I'm hearing a lot of rumors about the James Webb Space Telescope having detected something significant. I tweeted about it just yesterday, but apparently NASA's announced the detection of a potential signature of extraterrestrial life in the atmosphere of a planet located 120 light years away. And apparently the James Webb Space Telescope produced a potential detection of the molecule dimethyl sulfide, which is only produced by living organisms on Earth. It's a tentative detection, and they're preaching caution before they declare it's aliens. But what we can expect is that there's going to be clarification of that this year. And I think that's one thing that the government of the United States...
Is that Ross's grandpa in the background? That's pretty badass if that is. That's wild. Oh, and I didn't notice this too. He's got something from Edgar Mitchell. Damn. Maddie Dick says apparently he knew a lot about the populations of other planets. I was reading some stuff that was saying that he discovered water on other planets and stuff. Now we're gonna see they got a suspect, and it could have just been a typical crime, but this is something interesting to worth noting. So let's just go and watch this real quick.
Killed 3 days ago at his home in the Antelope Valley community of Llano has been identified as Carl Grillmair. He was a Caltech scientist. Colleagues say the 67-year-old made groundbreaking discoveries in astronomy and will be greatly missed.
Carl Grillmair is was an extremely renowned scientist, and I would say he still is, because his legacy will keep on. I felt very sad because he was my mentor. He was a great colleague. He cheered me on. I cheered him on.
No arrests have been made. Anyone with information is being asked to call Crime Stoppers at 800-222-TIP.
So yeah, let's go ahead and continue along here. What some people were, commenting underneath that was kind of interesting was his name wasn't in the Epstein files. I'm not accusing this guy of any nefarious behavior or anything, but Caltech, his school, was in the Epstein files 270 times. Various kind of different emails about astronomy, geography. So that is kind of interesting. We did search his name, couldn't find anything like that. There was also this, I forgot who, I should shout them out, but they posted this underneath some of the books or papers he'd written over the years. So let's see. Spectrophotometry of emission nebula in 5,000 to 6,000 globular clusters and the distance to M87. I think that's a planet. That's how they name planets, right? The distribution of globular clusters associated with more low redshift broad absorption line, recent photometry of CG Cygni, the ultraviolet calibration of the Hubble Space Telescope. I'm pretty sure Hubble has been in the UFO lore in the past. Let me just see. Hubble UFO. Does anything come up? No, nothing's coming up right now. But yeah, so he was just kind of working on some of that stuff. They did find a suspect today. Let's go ahead and watch this too. Fuck it.
The Caltech campus is in mourning tonight after a renowned astrophysicist was killed during a carjacking.
Carl Grillmair was described as a brilliant man, a man who helped us better understand our own planet and the vast universe that surrounds us. CBS LA's Hunter Soward's live at Caltech in Pasadena with the very latest on this story. Hunter.
Juan, Susie, Carl was known here on this campus for his humor and for his creativity. Those I spoke to today said this is not only a huge loss for loved ones, it's a huge loss for the entire field of science. Shock and sadness on the campus of Caltech as colleagues mourn the loss of groundbreaking astrophysicist and astronomer Carl Grillmair.
We are shocked. This was so unexpected. Carl was full of life.
The 67-year-old killed Sunday in the Antelope Valley spent decades devoted to understanding the galaxies, studying the Milky Way, and making groundbreaking discoveries, helping scientists better understand our planet.
He was my mentor, my companion, my buddy.
Sergio Fajardo Acosta knew Grillmair for 26 years and worked alongside him at Caltech's IPAC department.
He is, and I say in the present tense, Carl is irreplaceable because the ingenuity he injected into his research in astronomy is unparalleled.
According to the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department, they responded.
Maddie Dick says, because Epstein the reptilian was doing recon on who needs unalive. Yeah, a lot of people were saying this kind of like three-body problem vibes. We'll watch a little bit of the MIT professor who shot earlier, and then, you know, Amy Eskridge. And there's a point, too, I want to make. I'm going to make a video about this at some point, but, like, the book Three-Body Problem is, like, totally part of Chinese disclosure, in my opinion. And in there's a running theme of, like, scientists either killing themselves or getting murdered related to, like, discoveries around alien life.
Early Monday morning to a shooting in the town of Llano, southeast of Palmdale. They say around the same time, reports of a carjacking eventually led them to the suspect accused of shooting Grillmair, who was quickly arrested and charged with murder and carjacking.
That was the other thing too, right? So people were saying it's a carjacking. I don't know. It's still early. If you look at the Google Maps, and you can kind of get a vibe here, like all the properties are super spread out. It's not just like you're in a big city or you're in a neighborhood and it's like, let's just go find a car. Like you kind of got to go out of your way and plan to go steal this person's car, which maybe they did do, but like, look at this. I think this is the driveway. This kind of looks like what I'd seen on people posting earlier today.
Grillmair is now being remembered for his brilliance and generosity.
Always ready to teach, to share his knowledge. He never held anything back.
Grillmair's work spans decades, degrees, and achievements with specific breakthroughs in the study of stellar streams. He made numerous scientific discoveries. While at Caltech, he worked for the Spitzer Science Center, and in 2011 was awarded the NASA Exceptional Scientific Achievement Medal.
He was an inspiration.
And the suspect has been identified as 29-year-old Freddie Snyder. He's behind bars right now for carjacking and murder on a $2 million bond. We have reached out to the Sheriff's Department for more information on the circumstances leading up to this shooting, if this was random or targeted. Of course, we will continue to follow this story.
Something else that comes to mind is the Seth Rich case. If I'm not mistaken, it was like two gangbangers from a different city killed Seth Rich, who I suspect leaked the WikiLeaks stuff, which also dealt with aliens a little bit. And then, if I'm not mistaken, they got murdered within like 2 weeks or so. So it's like, people are like, oh, well, no, they got a suspect. And it's like, well, who do you think they outsource this shit to, bro? They outsource this shit to like hoodlums and gangsters and shit like that. And not everyone's like in a suit and tie and some like assassin CIA thing. They go to local crime and they'll find someone locally to do it. And you know what I mean? That's how these kind of things get done. So I don't know. Let's watch this real quick. Just a little bit of a throwback.